Hello, everyone, and welcome to Parents Making an Investment. And today I want to share with you just our experience as parent, or my experience rather, and my husband as well, of the experience of our child's school life and bridging the gap. And there are certain stages in life where friendship for your child is becomes more important. It becomes very important that they have friends and they gravitate to that. And so from my experience, I've noticed it always happened, even with my older son, it happened around the same time. And it happened second, third grade. And so friendships are very important at this time of their life. And what we try to do is also to be there for them during this time where they're searching themselves and who they are, and then also wanting to be consistent and want their friendship to be consistent. And so my daughter is going through that this at this stage. But at the same time, she's also dealing with some school, I call it classmate rivalry. And the reason why I define it as such is because it's just the bumping heads of authority and power that sometimes children want to have over each other, and they use it through their words. And so I don't want to say all the time that, especially when it comes to girls, they can be mean. And so I don't want to label another child as being a mean girl, but I think when they want to usurp their authority and to find out how much power their words have, sometimes they do end up saying mean things. A lot of times it comes out in a mean way. And so, how do we as parents, when your child is not the one that's saying these things, but is the one that um, is hearing these things being said about them. And so we're in that space right now and in that season in our family. And so what we want to do is to be a part of our daughter's school life. And so what we do is we allow her to talk about what's happening at school. And yes, um, my husband's take is his response was, well, you go to school to learn and focus on that, focus on learning. But in all aspect, in all reality, we also have, as humans, we have social emotional being part of us. And we know that even though they go to school to learn, but there's a social emotional part of each and every one of our children. And so, yes, they are going to want to have a social emotional experience, and we want them to have that. And that comes with having friends, building relationship, knowing how to communicate your feelings, and being able to respect each other, respect each other's feelings, and all of that they're being taught, and even the philosophy at their school. And so as she's going through this, where she's having the friends that she used to play with and still was playing with now are saying false things about her. And then they're carrying it to other peers and classmates and friends, I would say, that she considered friends, and saying these things about them and about her, rather. I'm sorry. And so, what do you say to your child? And how do you deal with that? I would like to know how you are dealing with it as a parent. And I'm going to share how we're dealing with it. And hopefully it help you. But I just find that this is what I've experienced with pretty much my son when he went through it. And this is what we're experiencing with my daughter. And sometimes it is different based on whether the person is a female or male, their temperament, their tolerance, and how, whether they're introvert or extrovert. And so, how we're dealing with this with my daughter, I find that the first thing is allowing her to talk about it. I believe that when I see her talk about these things, she finds strength in it. She finds her self worth, oh, yes, and her strength and who she is in just sharing how she's dealing with this and how and what they're saying about her. And we talk about and give her the space to say, how do you think the best way to handle it? How should you respond to her? And even though we want them to fight back and to have words to make themselves feel bigger and better than that other person, and that gives them ammunition. But we also want them, as far as we are concerned as parents, my husband and I, we want her to overcome evil by speaking good and by doing good. And so at the same time, we've been trying to let her understand that everyone, even though she's a third grader, and this is also the stage in which friendships are very important to them. But we also want her to understand that it's not everybody that you call your friend. You have classmates, and you have associates, and then you also have friends. And so we want you to respect your classmates, respect their feelings, respect their space, respect who they are. And sometimes that comes with where they disagree and someone may not like you, but that's okay. You respect them. You may not like that person. You may not like how they behave. You may not like how they act, but you still respect them as a classmate. So we're teaching her that at the same time and hoping that she will grasp that. And even if she doesn't, just being able to talk to her about it and just showing her different levels of friendship. And I know that in the end, there'll be some understanding that she will get out of it and be able to apply later. And then also the next thing is also not responding to them. You know that what they're saying is not true. And being confident in that, knowing that people are going to say things about you. Even as parents, we deal with that. We deal with people saying things about us that is not true, and trying to have some level of self-control as an adult to just not even respond, just not even to go there with them. And to also to say, you know what, just move on, ignore it, let it pass over you. And sometimes it's not easy as adults to do that all the time. And teaching her this and even sharing this with her in the process of just telling her, ignore it. Just ignore what they're saying. Excuse me. I know it's hard for you to ignore what people are saying about you, even when you know it's not true. It is. It takes a lot of strength to be able to do that and to be able to walk away when people are saying things to you. And then on top of it, they're telling your other friends that did not think these things about you and that are not even a part of the situation. And now they're bringing in other friends and putting them in the middle of the situation. And so we just have to keep reminding her and encouraging her that you talk to these friends and individuals while they're in the classroom, but you do have a choice. You don't have to interact with them. When you're on the playground, when you're at the lunchroom table, when you're in the hallway, you don't have to interact with them. Be pleasant about it. Say your highs and byes if they respond to you, but you don't have to feel like you have to be driven and forced to interact in the sense that they have to be your friend. You don't have to. And so you have to choose the type of friends that you want. And this is what I'm saying, to my daughter and telling her, choose the type of friends that you want. And we want our kids to be able to define the type of friends that they want, the type of people they want to hang out with. And if you know that you don't want to be someone that is telling lies on other people and saying false information and spreading it, then you don't want those people as your friends. And this is what we're saying to her to be able to deal with what she's dealing with. Watch what they're saying about you. Watch how they're behaving. Do you want those people as your friends? Do you want to associate yourself with those type of people? And if you don't, just talk to them in the classroom. When it comes to if you have to be in groups as far as learning goes and academics, then fine, do that. But when you're outside on the playground, find other people that are not spreading rumors, that are not telling lies about you, and that are not sharing false information with other people to make themselves feel bigger and important and to get the attention that they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, sometimes these children, they're looking for attention. And they're getting the attention by producing negative behavior. And we want our kids to recognize that just like how us as parents recognize that our children sometimes will get our attention by producing negative behavior or misbehaving, whatever way we want to call it or consider it, or identify it. This is the same way that other children behave. And so we want them to notice that all it is some of these classmates are just trying to get your attention, and they're trying to go about it in the wrong way. Don't give them the attention they're looking for in that way. Ignore them. Don't respond to them. Tell your daughter or your son just to respond. It takes a lot to walk away, but you are so much the bigger person, and there's so much strength in you when you are able to do that. And so I'm just sharing what our kids are going through right now. My daughter's going through. And I hope it helps. I hope that if you are a parent that is experiencing the classroom rivalry in your child's school life, and you want to bridge the gap between school life and home life, open up the door to talk about this stuff to your children and allow them to talk about what they're dealing with socially, emotionally, and encourage them. Encourage them to choose wisely the type of people that they want to be around, the type of people that they want to associate themselves with, and to also find strength in themselves by you even helping them to find strength. Remind them who they are. Remind them that they are important. Remind them that they are their strength that lies within them. So when they come up and face these things at school, that they don't have to feel like they have to succumb to what people are saying and doing about them. And also one of the things too that I find that's important as parents, partner with the teachers. Let your teacher know what's going on. Let your teacher know what your child is going through. So that way they are aware. And if they're not aware, and if they're only focused on the academic piece of your child's school life, draw them in. Bring it to their attention, because that does not make up the whole child. The academic part of your child is only a piece. But the social, emotional, cognitive, all of that makes up your child. And they need to be also aware of what is going on in the classroom, also aware of what's taking place on the playground because it's brought into the classroom. What's happening in the bathroom, what's happening in the hallway. And so partner with the teachers. Send the email and let your teacher know that this is what your child is dealing with. And you are also aware. And so when we let teachers know and the school know that we are aware of what your child is dealing with, and we make them aware, then we will see results. And do not let it go. It's not a little thing. Because if we ignore these things and we teach our children to ignore them and not face it, they will not grow, they will not gain strength from these experiences. because they are going through this for a reason. They're being faced with these experiences because it's the path that they are on. And we want them to become stronger through these experiences that they're going through. And then the next time that they face these things, they know how to overcome. And they can also help someone else, help another child that's dealing with it, help their other sibling that's going to face it, and share what they've been through and what has helped them. And so this way, someone else can also grow strength from your child's experience. And so we want to make sure that we are bridging that gap through their home life and their school life by being a part of it. But parents, I want to encourage you to talk to your children. And I want you to encourage you in the process of, while I'm trying to encourage myself while my child is going through this, is to partner with the teachers. Let them know that you know. Let them know that you are an active parent in your child's school life. And do not just let it go like that. And I'm not saying to be angry at the way you respond and respond about the situation, but be wise about how you respond and see the positiveness that can come out of it, that your child can be stronger. And then also that she or he don't have to, settle and lower their standards, but they can have standards, stand up for who they are, stand up for what they believe in spite of what people are saying about them, their classmates are saying about them. And they don't have to choose to be around friends like that and choose to have friends like that in their life, but they can choose to have other friends that are not going to spread things about them. And so while I'm encouraging myself and while we are going through this process at my home, I want to encourage you today by sharing this. And I want you to encourage you to share it with others. Share your experience that you're going through with your child's school life and trying to bridge the gap. And I want you to share this video. Subscribe, like it, share it with others so they can know how to deal and how to what the tools are and how even to help their child deal with these things at this stage in their life so they can become a stronger individual and confident individual, and to be able to feel that their words have power and they could be okay with being themselves and walk away not having to have the last say, but just walk away being confident in themselves. So you today grow strength, hopefully, from this video and share it with others. And I hope that you will also, as we experience parenting together, that even though you might not be experiencing it right now, but when that time comes that you go through it, that you know exactly what to do, and that you will take joy in knowing that you can overcome evil by doing good, and your children can overcome evil by doing good. And don't let your heart be troubled today. Be blessed.